you're not going to believe what I got for some of these. Some good money. We've got some bolos in there, some pretty unique items, if you see them. Ranging over a few different categories, but there's also a few little things in there that you're going to see pretty regularly in op shops, and you might not pick them up. So you might make a couple of bucks out of them yourself. So we're going to go back up here and show you what we have sold. So if you've been following along and you seen my chat with Chris the other night, CL Furlong on YouTube, we got him up to 650 subs. That's what it's all about, the community getting around and meeting each other and following each other's content. And I agreed if we could get him to 650, I'll film a what sold while I do a 10K run. That isn't this one. Are you right there? That isn't this one. That'll be the next one. So I'm going to come out here. So the joys of living out in the countryside in Australia is, that's our house just up there. And this track can take us anywhere. There's mine shafts, there's bloody prickle bushes, all sorts of crap. So I will do a 10K run, what sold, next what sold I do. But this one, we sold some stuff lately, haven't we? Yeah, you have the money. That's what you had. So let's get into it, and I'm going to show you what we sold of recent. What's going on, legends? It's good to be back and talking about some sales. I haven't done it for a while. We haven't sat in this room together for a bit. So it's good to get back in here and have a chat about some things that I've sold, and I'm really, really excited to show you a few of these. So there's a bit of stuff how I've kicked off my year of 2021. There's going to be some big stuff in there, but there's some super unique items that you may see regularly and not think to pick up. A couple of brands, all sorts of stuff I want to touch on. Clothing, media, all sorts of stuff. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with an absolute ripper to finish out last year. New Year's Eve, I cracked a sale right on the final day. And I was so stoked because was this record player here, this vintage belt drive Pioneer. Now, keep your eyes peeled for this stuff. Not all goes for good money. There's been remakes from Aldi and such, which I've picked up, and some do still sell. Don't get me wrong. Now, some of this vintage stuff does really, really well. Now, we're going to talk some jeans because I do move a lot of jeans, and I think jeans are a great way to start reselling. If you want to get into it, you want to learn how to measure clothes, do your listings, all that sort of stuff. I, early days, didn't like jeans, but now I love them, and generally, you're going to turn your basic pair of jeans for 30, 40 bucks if you know your brands. Simple as that. And the rate I'm sort of tracking these days, I tend to sell a pair a day on average. So if you can do the maths, you think about it. By the end of the year, just purely on jeans, you're going to make a lot of money. So definitely, there is a little bit of work in them. As I said, you got to measure and all that sort of stuff. But they're definitely worth looking at. I just recently on my TikTok did a video on my top 3 favorite brands of jeans. So if you're on TikTok, go over and have a look. And I did that based on how quick they move. I did the price that you're going to get for them and availability, how often you can actually pick them up. So I'm starting to play around with TikTok a little bit more with things like that. So if you are on there, go over and give me a follow and come and say hello. I'm still learning the groove of that. But anyway, I'll get back onto it. I'm going to start with these Dryzer Bone. And the reason why I want to show these Dryzer Bone jeans, they were brand new at tags. Now, I've paid $10 and they've been posted $4.85. They brand new, and I did not pick these up from a thrift store. There's a local place here that is clearing that stuff. So I've gone in there and they're wanting $20 a pair for all their Dryzer Bone jeans. Dryzer Bone is a good brand to look for. Don't pay heaps for it. It's not as quick as something like RM Williams, but it is still a good brand to sell. I have had a lot of success with Dryzer Bone. The horsey riders love it. But anyway, I went in there, this clearance outlet, and they are moving a heap of stuff. So because of the quantity that I purchased, they were willing to drop the price even more. So I was in it at $10 a piece. I've been selling these, maybe one every couple of weeks for around this price. So it's a good return on investment. Kind of semi-slow, but they're going to tick along and I'm going to make some good money out of it. And the bonus is I've made a contact. So they are going to keep in contact with me and I may get even more stock for even cheaper price. So very happy with that. Glad I made that contact. And if you do have these little clearance outlets or anything, because I'm in the country, we don't have a lot of it, but if you see them pop up, go and have a look. But most importantly, start communicating. Tell them what you do and say you're really interested to continue to work with them, because it could work out in your favor, and it has for me with these ones. So very happy with that. They weren't one of my top 3 brands of jeans though, by the way. But one that was these Nudies. I bought some Nudies last week at a garage sale. I seen the ad and they had a heap of them laying on the floor. So I went straight there, and they wanted $2 a pair. I've picked up 6 pairs of Nudies for $2 each. So, well, it was under $2 because I paid $10 for all of them. So very happy with that. This is obviously a brand that most resellers, you've been in the game for a while, you know Nudie jeans go pretty well. I don't see them a lot. They don't seem to be around my area very often. I've only picked them up a couple of times, but now I've got these ones. And I banged them up, and it was under 12 hours they sold. I went a little bit under the market to move them quick. So I've paid $2 a piece, and that's another reason why I've gone a bit cheaper, because a lot of people will pay up to $10, $15 for a pair of these to sell. So at $2 a piece, I put them up 58 post, and the same buyer purchased both pairs. So I've combined the ship because I've done free post on it. So now another one's not a brand you're ever going to hear a reseller talk about, and fair income, it's not something I'd recommend picking up second hand. The reason I picked these up is they are these Bisley, whatever the hell you call them, workwear pants. Why did I get them? Because it's the start of the year. People are going back in, fresh-faced after a holiday, going into work. They need some new work clothes. If their company doesn't supply them, they will maybe look to purchase online because they can get them cheaper. So if I ever see this stuff new with tags in op shops, I grab them. Now, usually, I wouldn't say they're fast movers, but this was a 3-day turnaround. And it was, I think I paid $4 for these, and it's turned them into $30 plus post. So always keep your eye, hard yakka, all that stuff. Just keep your eye out. Now, as I said, I do not recommend secondhand. I don't see a good turnover on that. But if you do see it new with tags, it is definitely worth your time having a look at it, because I've actually sold a lot of this stuff, and the hard yakka stuff's even better. So I thought I'd show this one because it is early in the year still. So if you have seen one down at your local thrift for under $5, maybe go and have a look. Go and sniff it out and chuck her up. I am sweating my ring off in here. It is hot as balls. The summer's really kicked in. I need to get a little fan in here in the office, I think. But anyway, we'll get into the next one. You've seen a video I put out a couple of weeks ago. I picked up those Michael Jackson vinyl. I've already flipped a couple of them here. So I'm roughly in these at about 20 cents a piece, if that, probably less. So been loving vinyl this year, but these couple have chugged along. And this here, Wild Boys, if anyone's around my age would be familiar with the Wild Boys. Steve and Chris Pontius, they started they were on Jackass, and there was lots of different spin-off shows from Jackass. And it is quite nostalgic now for people my age, in their 30s and stuff, and people that used to skate and were into that kind of scene, because I'm sure everyone knows what it is. It's just a bunch of dudes being dickheads on Jackass. They'd hurt themselves, and they were stuntmen, and we were amused by it. I think it was hilarious, and most people did, and there's a lot of people that thought it was fucking stupid. But anyway, very nostalgic for people in my age, and they kind of want to rewatch it now. Wild Boys was a spin-off from that with Steve and Chris, and occasionally the little midget wee man, and they'd go around the world just playing with animals, and they'd get bitten, basically. Funny as hell. So people are chasing that now, and I see it quite regularly in op shops. So what I do when I get them, bundle them together and sell the set. There's 5 seasons, and it's only cost me $2 a piece for these ones, and so there's $6 invested, and sold for $75. So I'm not complaining with that. It was a great show. I loved it. It's not for everyone, but keep your eye out for Wild Boys. There's some of the other ones don't do as well. Some of the CKY stuff does good, but definitely keep your eyes peeled because it moves good. Another one that moved quite quick for me here is In the Night Garden. If you are familiar with In the Night Garden, it is a kids show. It was on ABC. I think it's still on the ABC Kids app, but it has been pulled off the air. My little bloke, he used to love this show. It is creepy as hell. It is weird as hell. I can't get my head around it, but the kids love it. Now, another little sale that I really want to talk about, and something that I've been doing that some people will see a bit of interest in, and I'm going to follow up with its own video on this sale because it's going to be a continued series. But I want to know if you guys are into your Pokemon stuff, or you've just chimed in because of what happened last year and you're kind of new to it and you're having to play with it, I'd really like to know. But we all know the Pokemon card scene blew up again, which it does. It blows up, drops off, blows up. At the moment, in my opinion, I've noticed a little bit of a drop, which is a good time to buy in, and it's something that I've done, but I've continued to do for a while. And I want to show this particular card because I've started a little bit of a series where I'm picking up graded cards. The good thing with graded cards, you know they're real, you know they're legit, they've been graded by PSA. If you don't know what graded is, basically PSA, they get sent off to America, they get put in a little slip here, they'll give them a grade out of 10. If they're mint, near mint, you'll get a barcode. You can actually look up what they are, how many there are in the world. This one here is a 99 shadowless, and it's only a basic card, but it's been graded and everything, and people pay a lot more money for a graded card. So if you're not aware of what that is, that's a very brief rundown. But do your research first, obviously. But I've been buying these cards from America and getting them sent here. So this one in particular is a card that I've purchased a few times, and it's not even vintage. I managed to snap this one up for $80 and have flogged it off for $220. Very happy with that, and it's something that I'm going to do now as a little bit of a side thing, flipping these Pokemon cards, because it is good fun, it's nostalgic, you can pick up the old cards, and basically my plan with this is kind of a similar method to what we all did with the $5 Thrift Challenge. I've started with this one card that you see here and flipped that. What I do, 100% of the profits gets reinvested into this flipping sort of journey, which I purchased another 4 cards that were all graded, 100% graded, and then I'll flip them and reinvest some money back in. And I'm reinvesting this money 100% into this little bit of a thing as a bit of fun and to see where we can get with it. So now I'm starting to build up a collection of these graded cards, and I'm learning a little bit on the way. I just showed you that Haunter, and I've picked up some of these other ones. So I'm not just picking up vintage, but I'm picking up just basic, very basic cards here. Like this is a promo. This is a modern one from 2016. It's a promo card. There's a few graded cards here. Basically, I'm picking them up. And even some of them, you might only get your $20, $30, $40 profit. But in 12 months' time, this is all going to add up. So I'm going to keep you up to date with how I go with all this. But it's been fun. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? I've enjoyed. I want to see what sort of a collection I can build up. I don't personally collect, and I know people, especially collectors, are going to hate that. I'm in it to flip it, and that's what this channel's all about, and that's what I do. That's what most of you do that are watching. But I'm going to see how high I can build this and see what sort of money we can get in the end, whether there is an actual end to it, but I continue to just reinvest. So basically, these cards get graded in America. I've just found buying the cards online over in America and getting them sent here, you can get them over pretty cheap, and then the Aussies will pay a bit more money because they want it quick. So I'm happy to wait however long it takes to get here. But the Aussies, when they're buying it, they want it quick. They want it at their door, and they can get it within a couple of days when I send it to them. But they can't be bothered with the Americans. Some people don't even like the, the currency conversion and all that sort of stuff. That confuses them. I'm simply buying from America, getting them here, putting them on Australian eBay. Don't get me wrong, I put international ship on as well, but they're going really, really well. They go up well on Facebook too. So if it's something you do want to get involved in, obviously do your research, see what other cards have sold around. But instead of tackling raw cards, because if you're inexperienced too, there's a lot of fakes. This stuff's heavily faked. At least when you know you're getting these graded cards. And I only touch PSA, I don't even touch Beckett. I'm just going PSA. But I've learned a lot in the last 6 months about this stuff. There's been some awesome people that have helped me out, and now I'm doing really well out of it. So if you want to get into it, do it. It's a whole heap of fun. I want to talk about audiobooks because a lot of them don't move that well because we have all these streaming platforms. We have Audible where we can listen to audiobooks and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes people still physically want the discs. And I purchased a heap a while ago. Now, always do your comps if you're not sure what you're picking up. But here's a little example here. This Red Hot Chili Peppers singer here had a little audiobook out, and it was in with the CDs for $1. So I've grabbed this and sold it for $32 quite quickly. So some people just want to chuck the CD on in their car and still have a listen. So definitely do not ignore audiobooks. Be careful. Be very careful because there's a lot that won't move. But definitely 100% always have a look at them, because some of them do well. I've sold quite a few now, and there's always still a bit of money to be made. Now, lastly, I want to get on the footy jumpers. I haven't spoken about footy jumpers for a while, so I froth up when I start talking footy jumpers, so I want to get into it here. So, if anyone watched a video that I did when I did a bit of a thrift trip last year, I picked up a bunch of Geelong Cats footy jumpers and different training Guernseys and all that sort of stuff in an op shop. It was at the Salvos, and I went on to sell a fair few of them last year. There's a lot of them have moved along. I think I had over 10 in total. There was shorts and everything. But the start of this year kicked off well, because the rest of them gone. Now, this is why I've always preached footy jumpers, and I always go on about it, because I'm a collector. For anyone that doesn't know me or is new to my channel, I collect kind of match-worn AFL players' jumpers. I'm obsessed with it. I'm a Bulldogs fan. I collect all that sort of stuff. So I do have a pretty good knowledge base around the sports memorabilia and sporting gear, because I just love it. I froth on it. That's my niche, and that's what I'm right into. So when I found this stuff, I was so stoked, because I knew there was kind of rarer stuff. Not real rare, but it was harder to come by, and I knew someone was going to actually pay up for this stuff. There was markings in them to make me pretty aware that these had come from the club and certain players, because they'd been labelled and they were basically next door to the actual training ground. So I picked these up, super stoked. There was actually one piece out of it that I kept for my own collection, but the rest I have moved on. As I said, some went late last year, but then the start of this year, we've kicked off with 4 sales, and we've cleared the rest out. So this was the best of the lot. Went for $150. They're very hard to come by, these rash vest, training vest. You can't even buy these. You couldn't buy these in store. You simply cannot purchase these. They were issued to the players, and that was it. You can't buy it. So that's why I bumped my price on that. I knew it'd go all right, and very, very hard to come by. So that's gone for $150 plus post. Then we had a couple of jackets here, VFL, AFL. They've hovered around the $70, $80 mark plus post, and also a training jumper there, so the $80 for that. So even if you do see some of these singlets and you're not sure, definitely look into them. Always make sure they're legit. There are Bali fakes out there. I've explained it on my channel before. You do come across them quite often, but always do your legit checks. If you need any help with it, I'm always happy to help anyone. So come over to my Instagram, contact me on Instagram, not on eBay, because I've had a lot of people jumping on my eBay lately, but come over to Instagram, and I'm always happy to help anyone that needs it. So that's going to do it. That's me done today. I thought I'd better drop a what's sold. It's been a little while. I still am selling shit. Things have been really good this year. I've boosted to about 15 to 20 a day on average. So weekends obviously better. Drops off a bit through the week, but I've been doing well. We had a little bit of a slump just after New Year's Eve, but I feel like it's been kicked in the dick again, and it's up and ready to go. So very happy with that. If you've enjoyed this, please hit that thumb. And if you've been following along and you love this sort of stuff, hit that sub. Let me know you're new. If you've been here a while, say hello, drop a comment, because I reply to everyone, and I appreciate everyone that jumps on board. So thank you very much. There's going to be many more of these to come. I want to show a bit more stuff that I'm turning over. I want to hopefully help people. I want to show people what I'm selling, and hopefully maybe you can see this stuff in an op shop or on Facebook or something like that and make a couple of bucks yourself, because it's very, very easy to do, and it's a whole lot of fun. So thanks again. I'm going to go and do a bit. It's bloody hot. I've got to get out of this room. I'm going to get in front of the aircon and do some listing, because if I ain't listing, this shit ain't selling. So I'm going to get into it. Hit that sub button. I'll see you in the next one.